Ron, you're wearing your Gunrunner hat, and you're going to try to win the Kentucky Derby with the son of Gunrunner. As great as Gunrunner was, he was third in the Kentucky Derby. You had a really nice horse last year, the favorite in Epicenter, and probably thought you were the winner up until the last, how many feet would you say?
Well, that still hurts to watch it, but yeah, coming in last year with the favorite, thinking you're going to win to the last 50 yards or whatever it was, that one was a little painful. Getting beat by the longest shot. So this year we're coming in with Disarm, who is not the favorite. So, maybe we're learning from that. We'll go, okay, this is how you win the Derby. So, I don't know, just trying to figure out how to win it, basically.
Well, make a case for a Disarm.
I think the case for Disarm is, he's going to love 1.25 miles. He's a horse that's coming into, let's call it, if you compare it to last year, Epicenter came in perfectly. Everything went perfect. He was a perfectly baked cake all the way up to when he got in the starting gate. Disarm's the opposite. He came off of an injury, a little bit of a layoff, let's call it. And it was been a race to get him there physically, mentally, and he didn't. Basically, it's been such a race that it hasn't been until the last couple weeks, till after the Lexington. It really felt like it is all come together at the same time. So going back to the cake analogy, if we pull out the cake, we're going to hold our breath and think it's all put together to be a perfect cake. So that's where we're at.
I mean, he's a gorgeous horse. Steve was talking about how much he looks like Gunrunner, but maybe even bigger at this point.
Yeah, it's amazing because he does have a lot of similarities to Gunrunner, and
except for his record.
Except for his record. So hopefully he can improve that in the Derby. So we'll see about that. There was a horse that at the time it was like, oh, we could just win one more Grade 1, and then when you look back on it, you go, wow, that was actually incredibly phenomenal and something that you don't see very often, obviously. So that's hard to imagine that you can actually get to that status again. But the Derby's won a race that I've been in it a number of times now, and we're here to win it, not just running it. And I think when you look at Disarm, we feel like we got a shot that we can actually. We're crazy enough to think that we can actually win it with Disarm. Look, it's the Derby. We've always known the Derby is one of those races. Anything can happen. You can have all the best plans. The gate opens up, and all the plans go out the window. Nobody thought they'd have a lightning fast quarter and half last year. I think it was probably I believe it was like one of the fastest of all derbies. You couldn't imagine that. So anything can happen in the Derby.
You would love those fractions this year for Disarm.
Yeah, I wouldn't cry if they had fractions like that. As long as we're not on the lead.
Talking about how tough it is to win this race, you did come with a truly great horse in Gunrunner, and he just got better and better. But at the time, it didn't come together, for him that day.
Well, I think that's a good example. Is no matter who you show up with in the Kentucky Derby, it's a tough race. There's no other race in America where they put 20 horses in a gate, and it basically becomes a stampede to the first turn. So position's a big deal, pace is a big deal. There's a lot of things that are a big deal, and sometimes the best horse doesn't win it. I think that looking back at Gunrunner's year, he obviously became one of the best horses, but didn't get it done in the Derby.
I'm guessing, since you own both horses, it would take the sting away from last year especially with the son of your stallion Gunrunner, would win this year. Or can you never really
I don't think you can ever get rid of the sting, but it certainly would feel great to win it with the son of Gunrunner, and get to the winner's circle.